When you hear the name Aristotle, what comes to mind? Probably some dusty marble bust in a museum, right? Well, what if I told you that a philosopher who died over 2,300 years ago is one of the most powerful, active forces in your life, like right now? Let's pop the hood and see what's going on.
I know, it's a pretty bold claim. It sounds kind of crazy. But the truth is, the basic operating system, the software for how you think, how you argue, how you make sense of the entire world, was in large part coded by him.
See, he didn't just have a few good ideas, he created the very structures for having ideas in the first place. He built the intellectual tools that you and I still use every single day, most of the time without even noticing it. So to really understand the software, you've got to understand the programmer. Aristotle's life wasn't just a list of dates. You got to look at it as a chain of cause and effect, where every single step directly forged his world-changing philosophy.
So it all starts in a place called Stagira. His dad was a doctor, the personal physician to the king of Macedon, which meant Aristotle grew up surrounded by biology and medicine. This gave him a deep-seated respect for the real, physical, observable world. Then he moves to Athens and spends a whopping 20 years as the star student at Plato's famous academy. After that, he ends up tutoring the kid who would one day become Alexander the Great, a connection that, believe it or not, would later fund the biggest scientific research project of the ancient world. You see, every piece of his life built on the last.
Now, even though he spent 2 decades learning from Plato, Aristotle just couldn't get on board with his teacher's biggest ideas. He famously said this, basically, Plato is my friend, but truth is a better friend. This was his declaration of independence, and it set the stage for one of the most important intellectual splits in all of history. And this right here, this is the fork in the road for basically all of Western philosophy. Plato argued that our world is just a shadow of some perfect ideal reality, a world of forms. So to find truth, you have to look up. You have to think beyond what your senses tell you. Aristotle did a complete 180. He said, no. Reality is right here, in front of our faces. To find truth, you have to look down at the rocks, the trees, the animals. You have to observe. This was his first great revolution, from idealism to empiricism. But just observing the world isn't enough, right? Aristotle realized that we needed a reliable way to think about what we see. He needed to build a tool, the Greek word is organon, to help us separate valid arguments from sloppy thinking. So he pretty much invented the entire field of formal logic from scratch. And the heart of this new toolkit is something called the syllogism. It's a really simple, almost beautiful structure that's designed to give you a conclusion that is absolutely logically inescapable as long as you accept the first 2 statements. Just think of it like a little logic machine. You put in 2 true statements, your premises. So premise 1, all men are mortal. Fact. Premise 2, Socrates is a man. Also a fact. If both of those are true, the machine spits out a conclusion that has to be true. Therefore, Socrates is mortal. There's no way around it. This simple little structure is the direct ancestor of everything from legal arguments to the binary logic running the device you're watching this on right now. Okay, so now he's armed with this incredible tool for thinking clearly. What does he do? He turns right back to the physical world, but this time, not just as a philosopher thinking about it, but as a scientist systematically studying it. And I mean systematically. He observed, he dissected, and he classified over 500 different species of animals. This wasn't just a hobby. It was a massive, data-driven project to understand life from the ground up. His system of classification was so good, it was basically the standard in biology for the next 2,000 years.
And to truly understand anything, whether it's an animal or an object, Aristotle said you have to ask 4 basic questions about it. Let's take this chair. First, what's it made of? Wood. That's its material cause. Second, what's its form or design? That's the formal cause, the blueprint in the carpenter's head. Third, who made it? The carpenter, of course. That's the efficient cause. And finally, and this is the big one, what is it for? Its purpose. To be sat on. That's its final cause. This simple framework is a ridiculously powerful tool for understanding the world that we still use instinctively.
But Aristotle wasn't just interested in animals and chairs. He applied that same rigorous, purpose-driven thinking to the most important subject there is, us. He asked the ultimate question, what is the purpose of a human being? His answer was this incredible Greek word, eudaimonia. Now, it often gets translated as happiness, but that doesn't really do it justice. It's not about feeling good for a moment. It's much closer to what we'd call flourishing or thriving. It's the state of fulfilling your true potential, of firing on all cylinders by living a life of virtue and excellence.
So, how do you achieve this flourishing? For Aristotle, it's all about finding balance, what he called the golden mean. He said that every virtue is just the perfect midpoint between two extremes, two vices. Take courage, for example. It's the perfect balance between the vice of having too little, that's cowardice, and the vice of having too much, that's recklessness. Living a good life, for him, wasn't an accident. It's a skill you practice, always trying to find that perfect middle ground.
And here's the kicker. You can't do it alone. Aristotle famously said that we are political animals. He didn't mean we should all be politicians. He meant that by our very nature, we are social creatures. We can only truly flourish, we can only achieve eudaimonia by living and participating in a community, in a city, a polis. Our own purpose is completely tied up with our life together.
So let's bring it all back home. How is this ancient Greek guy running your life? Well, it's because his way of thinking has become our way of thinking. He is literally the ghost in our machine. Just think about it. Anytime you make a pros and cons list, you're dividing a problem into parts. When you organize your computer files into folders, you're classifying. When you watch the news and ask, okay, but why did that happen? You're searching for a cause. Every single one of these actions is a direct echo of the Aristotelian method. It's the software we're all running. He even gave us the very words we use to think these thoughts. Words like essence, potential, category. These aren't just fancy philosophical terms. They are fundamental building blocks of how we talk and reason about the world. And Aristotle either invented them or gave them the precise definitions we still use today. And that, really, is the whole point. At the end of the day, Aristotle's true legacy isn't a list of facts to be memorized. It's a powerful, universal toolkit for inquiry. He didn't give us all the answers. He gave us a much, much better way to ask the questions. He taught us how to think, how to observe, how to break things down, and how to question. So maybe the ultimate tribute to his legacy is to use the very tools he gave us to keep on questioning everything, including the foundations that he himself laid down.